What's
Yo,
going on, everybody? And welcome to another edition of The Bare Minimum on Thursday night. Glad to have you back, Dustin. How you feeling?
I feel tremendous. How do you feel,
It's good.
Brandon?
Good, man. It's been a pretty wild night of sports, man, for sure.
Yeah, hell yeah. Arkansas and Texas Tech are going into overtime right now. Duke just beat Arizona. We had that crazy ass Bulls game we want to get into too, on top
I
of
believe I believe the
everything
Cubs and
Bears.
White Sox both won today.
Oh, they're
Both,
playing baseball? Baseball
yeah,
started?
yeah.
Oh, cool.
White Sox won 8-1 earlier today, and I think the Cubs are just now finishing their game. They started at like 8:40 or something, man, and they were up. When I last looked, they were up like 7-3 in the sixth. So that looked
Okay.
pretty decided as well. You never know with the Cubs
You
relief pitchers.
you probably just jinxed them, Brandon.
Yeah, yeah, probably. They feel differently about this Cubs team than most people. But
What up, man?
yeah,
Miss?
doing
How you
good, man.
doing?
Doing good. Thursday, like towards the end of the week here. Tomorrow's Friday. It's a good thing, and I'm glad to have the bare minimum back,
Hold on,
guys.
hold on, hold on. Are you
We
saying that
apologize.
Friday comes after Thursday?
It does.
Oh wow. Breaking
Yeah,
news here on Four Star Chicago
it's
Sports.
actually Friday in like 25 minutes. But yeah, good to have the bare minimum back, minus the fact that I work with you
Uh-huh.
on the Four Star Chicago Sports Podcast. Guys, anybody who's in the chat tonight, please feel free to join the conversation. Ant Mass, what's going on? Dustin, yeah, I want to start with obviously ESPN released Matt Miller's first, and I would believe going to be his only version of an entire 7 round mock draft. And you pointed that out to me this morning. I did get a chance to peek at that. We want to focus primarily on the Bears picks over anything else. I do like Matt Miller a lot, Dustin. How do you feel about Matt Miller?
I've been following Matt Miller since like Bleacher Report many years ago. He's always
Yeah,
been my
since
favorite.
before his promotions.
He's always been my favorite guy to kind of follow, and I feel like Bleacher Report's scouting department kind of went to shit after he left them. What up, Jed? How you doing? I like Matt Miller a lot. I mean, that's not like he's always right, but he puts together really good content in terms of draft profiles on these guys. He's always very knowledgeable, and no, yeah, I always look to his stuff when it comes out, man. So I was excited to see this today, and I'm excited to see what you think of it too, and what the chat thinks of it as well, because it was interesting. There was some curveballs in there and some stuff that you wouldn't expect.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the late round picks are just a dart throw for anyone, even the pros, man. But if he were to get any of those correct, my mind would be pretty blown because they're not guys that I thought the Bears would be targeting or even have any interest in, to be honest with you. Some names I was a little kind of hesitant about even seeing anywhere near the Bears mock draft. But
Well, let's start
so
with it,
we could
man.
start
Get into it.
start start with did have the Bears remaining at number 10 and selecting. Well, I think the Bears fan base is pretty split over right now, right, Dustin? Like, a lot of guys love him. A lot of guys think we should wait on this position, but he has the Bears selecting Ashton Genty at number 10, running back out of Boise State. Obviously, guys, the nation's number one running back, and actually still ranked the number one talent in this draft. So,
And
how do you
he's
feel?
one of the best running backs that's come out of the draft in recent years. I mean, and there's been some good ones, man. Listen, I'll say this: Ashton Genty is a beast,
He's a
and
freak.
I don't give any credence to, well, he played at Boise State, he played in the Mountain West. This guy balls, and he doesn't go down on the first contact, and he runs with a very low center of gravity that makes it really hard for him to be taken down. He just bounces off of tackles and still maintains speed and keeps running. It's hard to find guys that do that as well as he does. And I think he's going to be really, really, really good in the NFL. I don't know if it makes sense for the Bears to go with him at 10. That just from my perspective. Like we were talking earlier, man, we're both very, very shaky about our left tackle situation here in Chicago right now. And I'm going to be very disappointed if the Bears don't address that very aggressively in this draft. The left tackle situation. If you're talking Braxton Jones and Karan Amagaji, I don't know how anybody feels about any of those guys. I think there's some better left tackles in this draft than people give credit for. So it's like at 10 to spend that on a running back, it's not really about Genty to me because I think he's fucking damn good. It's about who you can get in the second round. If it's a Quinshawn Judkins or if it's a Travion Henderson, Like, I think there's better value to be had later on with running backs, and you can really address an area of need, a much higher need at 10 than with a running back. But I won't be disappointed if the Bears draft Genty, man. There's something that's kind of exciting about it.
Yeah, the two skill players that I wouldn't mind the Bears drafting number 10 would be Ashton Genty and Tyler Warren. They've both gotten a lot of heat, especially here in Chicago. But I will say this, man, I would feel much better about drafting Ashton Genty if this running back class wasn't as deep as it is, which we've talked about time and time again. I'm not sure that some of these other guys that are going to be drafted this year won't at least have a better rookie season than Ashton Genty, if not be a better player entirely. Obviously, depends heavily on the situation. I also do find Ashton Genty Dustin to be a little bit more like DeAndre Swift than a power back. I know he kind of bounces off tackles. He's not really a run through you kind of guy. He's he's big. He's big in his mass, but he's not a real tall guy either. But obviously, probably the best running back in this draft class in terms of measurements. Right? He blew away the combine. Or he didn't perform at the combine, but his 40 is 4.42. He's
He had a good pro
211
day. He looked great at his pro day.
at
Yes, he looked great.
5'8". Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, that video is going viral as hell, man. I mean, it's just a freak. There are some issues though with Dash and Genty that people have kind of overlooked, man. And I did see him working on it in that pro day video, but by all measures, this guy is a terrible pass protector.
I
I
wouldn't
mean,
say terrible. No, I disagree with you there. I think he's a
his
lot better at it than he gets credit for,
his
Brandon.
pass blocking rating is, I think, out of the top 10 in regards to running backs in this draft. He's listed at a 48%, which is pretty damn low.
It's
Really
pretty
low.
solid for a 3 down back. I mean, if you're talking about a guy of his caliber in terms of what he's able to do, in terms of he's a much better pass catching back than his stats showed this past season.
Yeah, he
And
didn't receive a whole
yeah,
lot of passes, but you can definitely,
and the season before he did though.
yeah.
He got involved
And
in the pass game a
that's
lot.
something Ben Johnson would definitely do. You know that with it, well, obviously with this would kind of, I imagine his usage
Chad's here.
would mirror Jameer Gibbs a little bit. Like that's what I mean. He would kind of mirror and think the role that Gibbs played more so than Montgomery if he's playing in Ben Johnson's offense. If
Well,
there's a parallel between the two, you know.
Brandon Gibbs is a much better power running back than people give him credit for. And I said that when Montgomery went down. I told you guys they weren't going to miss a beat, and they didn't because he is a much better. And so is Genty. Genty is actually a
But are
pretty
you
damn
disputing that
solid power
Genty's
running back.
more comparable to Gibbs than Montgomery?
No, I think they're very comparable. Obviously, I'm not looking for a Montgomery. What I'm saying is that Genty can be everything you need in the backfield.
Yeah,
you don't need
pretty much,
two when you have the one
yeah.
like him.
You're pretty much making DeAndre Swift obsolete, I don't know, Dustin. If everything I'm reading, it feels as if the Bears are going that
Oh,
way anyway.
Kevin Whitey in the building, bro. Look at that.
What's going on, Kevin? Thanks for staying up, man.
Hell yeah.
It feels like Swift is on his way out. I don't mean like being traded this year. He'll be around this year. I don't think he lasts. I don't think he's going to be in the orange and blue beyond this season. I really don't. There's no point in moving him now.
And
But
again, you could say the defensive players he saw in the Mountain West are different than what he's going to see in the NFL, and that's a valid point. But you can also say that the players he played behind, in terms of that offensive line, the players he played alongside of, they were Mountain West players too, and he still just dominated the competition. I think his skill set translates very well to the NFL. Again, I would not pick Genty at 10, but if the Bears were to do it, you have your every down back for the next 6 to 8 years in Genty, no doubt about it. So you can't be disappointed with that. I mean, you know what I'm saying, Brandon? Are we in the same realm here in terms of what I'm saying?
He's not at the top of my list, but he's not a guy. He's not. It doesn't feel like a Bearsy pick. You know, I'm not gonna be throwing anything at my television if that's the guy who's selected. You know, there's been obviously. I would feel better about Ashton Genty at 10 this year than I did about Darnell Wright 2 years ago.
For sure. I mean, because what he brings to your offense is going to be exciting, and he is a big boy, MS. He's a big play threat time he touches the ball. So when you're talking about a Ben Johnson offense, adding a guy like that to it, it's going to have good results. I think it's a can't miss pick if the Bears were to take it. The guy will be a stud in the NFL. I just think Quinshon Judkins is a better running back. And if I can get him in the second round and take my starting left tackle for the next 10 years with that number 10 pick, I feel a lot better about divvying out my assets like that. But again, not going to be disappointed if you get Genty, because Genty is a fucking hell of a player. And if we had a Jameer Gibbs like guy in Chicago, how great would that be? I would be ecstatic with that.
Yeah, this is no way to quantify a player's talent, but he's like a first round pick in fantasy immediately, right, Dustin?
100%.
on a
And I
Ben
mean,
Johnson offense.
yeah, and we continue to sit here and think, well, you need the power back to pair with DeAndre Swift. But like you just said, if DeAndre Swift is, I mean, it's they're out of it after 2 years, that contract. So if he's not going long for this team anyways, you need an every down back to take his place. If it's a year of spelling between two running backs, it doesn't have to be Caleb Johnson. You want to get the best running back possible. I just personally feel like Quinshon Judkins, who's a guy who seeks contact when he's running, run over people, run by people, is a great pass blocker. I think he does everything well. I think he's the best all-around running back in this draft. So me feeling that way, it's hard for me to say take Genty at 10. And you don't have to take Judkins at 10 because he's going to be available later in the draft. So it's like I just would approach it in a different way. But
And we can have this, and me and Dustin, we have before. The same conversation can be had for Caleb Johnson. If the Bears select him in the second round, I wouldn't be disappointed either. I don't want him at 10. But if you walk away from this draft with Genty, Omarion Hampton, Quinshon Judkins, Caleb Johnson, you're getting a quality running back that's probably going to be your back.
Travion Henderson too.
I am
right?
starting to really, really love Travion Henderson, man. I think Henderson brings a skill set that none of these other guys have, to be honest with you. He is very elusive. He's got a huge burst once he gets behind the defense, man. He looks Saquon Barkley-ish to me, man. He really does when I'm watching his tape. I haven't seen enough of him, but he might be something special in the NFL.
So our analysis of Miller's, first pick for the Bears is that if you're standing at 10 and Genty is the best player on your board, I don't think anybody's going to be disappointed with the Bears taking him. And they definitely won't be disappointed with what he does on the football field. I mean, really thinking about it, guys, if you have Caleb Williams with his revamped offensive line and Caleb Williams and Genty in your backfield, that's something to fucking get excited about. And you're going to get a lot of good results from that. I personally think that. Not that I'm advocating for Genty. I'm just saying I won't be disappointed because I think it will still work very well.
And we've alluded to this a few times, Dustin. Genty might be, if he is available at 10, he might be the only blue chip talent left when the Bears are picking at 10. And if there is no blue chip talent, guys, your best option here is trading back. So if there's a blue chip talent left on the board when you're picking at 10, you take that guy, right?
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, that's what polls has shown he will do, Brandon. We've talked about this plenty of times. Taking Roma Dunze could be looked at as a luxury pick, but polls stuck with his board, and that's how he had it ranked. The one thing to point out here that's interesting is while Ashton Genty was doing his pro day and at Boise State, all of the Bears were at Ohio State. So, I mean,
watching two other backs.
That's where Quinshon Judkins is at, So it's like maybe there's something there, maybe there's not, but it's just interesting to point out if the Bears were that sold on Genty, you would think they would want to see him because they went and saw Caleb, they went and saw Rome, they were there for those guys, their first round picks. Whoever the Bears take in the first round, guys, you will have seen them have a heavy presence at that team's pro day, at least for judging off of history.
The Bears have only done, I believe, 7 top 30 visits, and Genty was one of them.
Yeah, 100%.
And 100%. I think I would imagine, I don't know, Dustin, there's any truth to this. I would imagine there was a Chicago scout at that Boise State pro day, but yeah, the guys that matter were not in that building. That's for sure. So I would say this, Dustin. I would rank if the Bears took Genty at 10, I'd give that a B plus. It's not the position you need at that 10th position.
Because of that. Because it's an A plus pick for the player. It's an A plus pick for the player. It's a B plus because there's better, as Kevin points out, there's better running backs later. There's not better, but there's good running backs later. And I think one is better in Quinshon Judkins that you could get later. And there's more depth. And you could potentially improve a much bigger need for your team with that 10th pick than running back. So that's what knocks it down. But you're getting an A plus player, Brennan. A top 5 player in this draft.
Yeah, and I His pre-draft rankings were between Saquon Barkley and Christian McCaffrey, if that says anything about who this guy might be, for sure. So yeah, that is like
Those
I said.
guys generally don't miss.
And,
You generally don't miss with those guys.
and Dustin, I did find it interesting. How did you feel about the fact that Miller did have the Bears remaining at 10?
Well, I don't know that he did any trades in that. It was the
No,
mock. There was no trades, and
no,
he. A lot of times he generally does not do that, and he'll put that in the article ahead of time, like this, not predicting trades, just if the team stands pat. I didn't see any trade. I went through that whole thing. There was no trades.
oh yeah. I think I'm just reading this because in his latter rounds, he's talking about how the Bears acquired the picks through trades, but these were actual trades.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, he did no trades in this draft, so that's why. I mean, I think at 10, man, like you said, if there's no players that Poles wants to take at that spot, he's gonna work hard to trade back. But you got to find a partner to dance with that. So if he can't, he's gonna have to take somebody. And if Genty's not that guy, then is it Will Campbell? Is he available? Is it Kelvin Banks? Is it Josh Simmons? Is it Mikael Williams? There's still going to be some options there that I feel like I would
Is
be.
it? Well, we're on the subject of Ashton Genty, who the Bears don't absolutely need. Is it a Will Johnson? If there's a blue chip guy there, you know what I
I
mean?
fucking love Will Johnson, man. He's the best cornerback in this draft. I would
Yeah,
not.
and I think
There's a lot of directions the Bears can go where I would be satisfied because I think that they need just really talented players on this team. You need blue chip players on this team, and Will Johnson could potentially be that at the cornerback position. So
yeah, I think Will Johnson and Travis Hunter are pretty far apart from the rest of this class, to be honest, man. Oh, so round two, obviously, as we
this
just
one was
stated,
surprising to me. This one was surprising to me.
yeah, no trades, so they remain at pick 39. They select Michigan defensive tackle Kenneth Grant. Now, I love this pick. I
I do
love
too.
this pick.
How
I
do you
just
not?
these mock drafts are where I start to think: are there things we just don't see coming, or we just don't know? Because Kenneth Grant being available with the 39th pick goes against everything that I've read about Kenneth Grant. He is currently ranked the second best defensive tackle in this draft. I do like Walter Nolan more than Kenneth Grant, and maybe that's what this is.
Well,
Maybe
no,
on the
here, let me tell you what it is. Because Walter Nolan plays the 3 technique. Kenneth Grant's going to be your 1
the
technique.
nose, yeah.
And the nose tackle has less value in the draft. That's just the reality. So that you could see that potential slide because of that. People want the pass rushing, 3 technique guy that guy that's going to get after the quarterback versus the guy that's going to plug the gaps. So that's potentially what could push Kenneth Grant back. But I mean, for him to be there at that spot, I was surprised by that for sure. Because I do think he will be gone before that. If he's there at 39, the Bears should, run to turn in that card. See, that would be an amazing pick.
Yeah, and I've said this many times. This is my philosophy if I'm a general manager. If you can get the best player at any position, minus the ones that kick the ball, you do so. And Kenneth Grant is the best 1 technique in this draft, right? I mean, he's the best
Yes.
nose tackle in the draft. So
Yes.
if you can do that in the second round at the 39th pick, you absolutely get him. And we did dive into him because the Bears were, and guys, the Bears were just at Michigan's, and they were at Ann Arbor at Michigan's pro day. They saw this guy very up close and personal. I'm sure nothing he did dissuaded them from him being a potential pick of the Bears. And if he falls to the 39th pick, doesn't, I think we can all agree that Brian Poles would pull the trigger on that for sure. It is a position the Bears need. I do like Billings, but he had health concerns, right?
And he's on the tail end of his career. So I mean, like, you need a guy to replace him for sure, and you need rotation at that spot too. Those are big boys; they get tired. You need fresh legs out there. It makes total sense. I would love it if the Bears were able to pick Kenneth Grant in the second round. I'm just concerned. I mean, here, if you take Genty at 10, you don't need to touch the running backs in the second round, obviously. So it's like Judkins is off your board at that point. Travion Henderson is off your board at that point. It's like, if it were me, again, I would go a different position of need at that 10 pick and then address the running back here in the second round. But you can't, I don't think these first 2 picks are fucking home runs, really, if you think in terms of the players you're getting.
If you draft Kenneth Grant in the second round, I'm giving that. If you've drafted Genty, we're going to play this the way he's wrote it. If you've drafted Gentry with the 10th pick, you'd get Grant the 39. I'm giving that an A plus. I'm giving that pick an A plus.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd give it an A. I'd give it a solid A for sure. And I mean, like that's you've made your team extremely better with those first two picks if this were to be the way that it falls. And you can't go another draft without addressing your defensive line in a major way either. I mean, you need young talent on this defensive line. You need a rotation. We see that that's what you need to consistently pressure the
as
quarterback and
Kevin
stop the
says here
run.
too. Dennis Allen. Kevin points out Dennis Allen
Mm-hmm.
is about depth and rotation. And guys, you're starting to see that the successful lines and trenches in general in the NFL do rotate players pretty consistent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
it's a necessary component of success in the NFL on defense. And again, Dennis Allen is a proponent of that as well. So it makes total sense for the Bears to take that guy if he's available in that spot. That's a great value, man.
speaking of, I'm not going to remember the guy's name for the life of me, man. But speaking of size, did you see that Boise State defensive tackle measured in at like 424 pounds today?
It's a Florida defensive
Or
tackle.
Florida, yeah, that's what
Yeah,
was. Good
404 pounds. He would be the heaviest man to ever
Lord.
play football. He would be the heaviest man to ever play football. Did you see Tyleek? Well, since we're talking, did you see Tyleek Williams fall flat on his face running this
Yeah,
40?
sent me.
Yeah, I did send you that. That's right.
And
I,
I almost feel like he had to. He felt like he was in a position where he had to fake an injury because it would just prevent embarrassment. You know, what I mean, people would be more concerned about his injury than laughing at him because he
someone
went
posted
right
that
for the
on.
knee. They went right for the knee, and then everybody said like he's fine.
I'm glad he's fine. Someone posted that on X saying he was fine, and then I commented, they clocked him at a 4.62 on this because the pro days they always give, Will Campbell's arms got longer at his pro day than they were at they always give him the edge at the pro days, man. So it's so fucking stupid, but I'm glad he's okay. But yeah, Kenneth
Yeah,
Grant would be
he's a
a
good
stud of
talent.
a pick. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So moving on, staying in the second round, remaining at pick 41, guys. So two picks after pick 30. I mean, this is. I love these situations.
These first three picks, Brandon, phenomenal. Like if no matter what you do with the rest of this draft, if you were able to come away with these three guys with your first three picks, if you're Ryan Bowles, that's a fucking win.
Yeah.
You killed it in this draft. The guy you're about to announce right now.
And I love being in positions like this where you're picking two picks after you're like, you know what I mean? Because like if there's two guys you want on your board, you're likely going to get them both. So pick 41, Brian Poole selects Notre Dame safety Xavier Watts, who to me, man, by all measures is at least a top three safety in this draft class.
He's the third best safety in this draft class.
Yeah.
He's the third best safety in this draft class. But I mean, Imanwari is really good. Starks is really good. Watts is right there with them. And I mean, he's the Bears' position of needs, as you go down the list, safety pops up. But I mean, safety is high up there for me. Kevin Byard's on the tail end of his career as well, on the last year of his contract. How much do you want to invest in him going forward? Jaquan Brisker has health issues. He just posted on X today. I showed you that. He plans on coming back and being better than ever, and I'm pulling for him, and I'm hoping for him, man. But these concussions, as we keep saying, like you just don't know. Guys retire early from this shit all the time. So having some kind of insurance at the safety position as a stud like Watts, that would be huge. We've done that a few times in our mocks. Take Xavier Watts in that exact same spot for that exact same reason. Safety is an area the Bears need to address.
And I've said this before. I've seen a lot of people mock the Bears, Xavier Watts, the Bears, actually with the 39th pick, not the 41st. And a lot of people say like, "Oh, this is Kevin Byard's potential replacement or Brisker's barring injury." I think this is Kevin Byard's replacement almost immediately.
Byard brings
really good,
a lot, but
he's a really good player, man. I think Watts has got a little more speed than Byard. He's obviously a little fresher.
He's your free safety for sure. He's the free safety. He's not a strong safety. He's not replacing Jaquan. But I mean, if you're in a pinch, you can play them both together. You'll figure it out. Byard can roll over to strong if he has to. I mean, just as soon as this year, if Brisker cannot go. I mean, and Watts has 13 interceptions in his last two seasons.
Yeah, he's a ball hawk.
He won. Was it the Jim Thorpe Award or whatever the safety one? I mean, this guy is a hell of a player, and the Bears honestly will be lucky to get him at 41. Every pick that the Bears make, you'll think, well, they didn't address this need, and they did. there's a lot of needs, honestly. There's a lot of needs for talent on this team and depth on this team. You're not going to be able to address them all. But if you can get these three guys, Brandon, Genty, Grant, and Watts with your first three picks, like I said, you've had a hell of a draft. It's kind of like last year where you're like, if you get Caleb in Rome, everything else is gravy after that.
Yeah.
And I would feel pretty similar to this in this draft if they were able to pull off these three guys with their first three picks.
Yeah, and without a fourth round pick, Dustin, these are the guys. These day one, day two guys are the guys that need to make an impact on your team immediately, even if they're not starters. Let's say Watts is not a starter; he needs to make an impact on the football team. A day two pick shouldn't be sitting on your bench by any means. He's a guy that needs to rotate in. These guys need to play, and they need to make an impact on your football team. That's how you get better, right? You don't draft guys that are potential projects or 1, 2 years down the road. You draft difference makers, and this draft is deep. There are
These three
starters.
guys, these three
Yes.
guys are immediate impact players for your team. These
Yeah.
three that they are exactly that, Brandon.
So moving on to round three. So we still in day two in the draft, which is great, guys. 4 picks in the first 2 days. Round three, pick 72. Jacob Parrish, Kansas State cornerback. Now, Dustin, I don't know how familiar you are with Jacob Parrish. I did pull up his Draft Buzz bio just to get a little more insight on him. He's 5'10", 190 pounds, so not the biggest guy in the world, but he's got some weight for being 5'10". His hands his hands are ranked in the 42 percentile. I don't know what that means for a corner as opposed to a wide receiver, but that's not
Well,
great.
hand size for catching the ball, obviously, like being
Yeah,
able to
no,
grip
it's,
the
I think,
ball
and
and make a play
receivers,
on the ball.
that's a measurement that will affect where you're drafted. I don't know about corners. His 40 is a 4.35. This is where this guy excels. He's obviously a burner. I mean, this is it wouldn't hurt if the Bears added some speed to this defense in the secondary. They're all quality players between Brisker, Byard, Jalen Johnson, Kyler Gordon. None of them are like the fastest guy in the world. By everything I'm reading, man, his QB rating when targeted is 68. Pretty, I mean,
So that's good.
yeah,
That's good.
and he is
Solid.
ranked. He's ranked 11th at the position, so he's outside. Or no, sorry, he's ranked 20th at the position, so he's outside the top 10. His draft projection is a fourth round pick. So this would be a reach if the Bears were to select this player by Draft Buzz measures. He is rated an 83 out of 100. That's a little less than elite. I think they consider that an eventual starter is what Draft Buzz calls that. And his overall rate, his overall rating is 79. His overall offensive rating is 79, meaning that's 79 is the ranking of the offenses he played in college. So also not a very seasoned guy. Kansas State. Like, I don't know. What do you think about this, Dustin? Because this one doesn't jump off the pages to me.
I mean, the Bears, again, another need that isn't talked about enough is the cornerback position. Tyree Stevenson has had his issues, well documented. I mean, Terrell
Yeah.
Smith is not turning into what we expected him to turn into.
Jalen Jones is gone.
That second cornerback position could become pretty important at some point. Now, whether or not Jacob Parrish is the guy to address that with, I don't know. But I would say this: it's Matt Miller making the pick, so you can kind of go back and forth on it. If it were Ryan Poles making the pick, I'd have to give him some leeway because he's shown that he can identify talent at the defensive back position in the middle rounds. So, like, if this were a Poles guy, I'd feel pretty. I mean, he did go get Tyree Stevenson, who's definitely played better than what people expected when he was drafted in the second round, I think. And Kyler Gordon in the second round, Jaquan Brisker in the second round. He can identify talent at that position. He's shown that. So I would give him the benefit of the doubt if it were Poles. I like the speed, man. I don't know much about the guy. I would like to address the cornerback position in the draft. I know that. That's something I would be interested in doing.
And up until his collegiate career in high school, this guy was one of the highest ranked player recruits in the country because he received 1,313 yards and 15 touchdowns while getting 6 interceptions. So he played on both sides of the ball. Obviously, like I said, very fast player. His pro comp is Asante Samuel Jr.
Well, that's solid. I mean, Asante Samuel just signed, I believe, with the Chargers, or did he just leave the Chargers? He's
No,
already.
I think he's still a free agent.
Uh, I thought he signed with somebody, but I mean, like he's a solid cornerback. I mean, I don't know what you expect from a third round cornerback. Hopefully that person can, find their way into the rotation and play well for you. I don't know if Parrish is that guy. I'm not going to sit here and act like I know everything about Jacob Parrish. I really don't. I just know that if the Bears draft a cornerback, I will be with that. And if Ryan Poles is the guy pulling that trigger, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt because he's earned it at that position in particular in terms of drafting middle round guys.
Well, like I said, if they did draft a cornerback, I wouldn't be surprised if speed was something they wanted to add to this secondary. These guys are all big physical guys that can hit you hard. They're not the fastest secondary in the world. So you're playing some burners that can beat you over the top, guys like Xavier Worthy. Somebody like Parrish can keep up with him, man. That makes obviously a big impact. So moving on to and I like what Kevin says here. I've been saying this for a while, guys. I do believe that Ryan Poles will This is a deep draft. I think Ryan Poles tries to get back into the fourth round here. Might be with a future pick, something from next year. I don't see Ryan Poles just letting the fourth round slide. This is a draft where you could get a potential starter in the fourth round, depending on who's left on the board. If there's players that are on his board remaining on the NFL board, I think that he's going to try to get back in the fourth round. That's just speculation by me, guys. Though, so their next pick is not in the fourth round. They don't have a fourth round pick because they traded the fourth round for. What did we trade this one for?
Keenan Allen.
Keenan Allen, correct? Yeah.
Yeah.
Picking fifth round, 148. Elijah Badger, Florida wide receiver.
Florida State. No, Florida.
No,
Yeah,
Florida.
I have no idea who this guy is.
Yeah, he's a Gator, and so
I
when you
have no
sent
idea
me
who he
this,
is.
when I got home from work today, I did a little homework. This is the first one that Matt Miller selects where I would be entirely opposed. Nothing about this guy impresses me. Nothing about him. And if you're selecting him in the fifth round, this is the same round that Pat Bryant is projected. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
And
would love
Jordan
me some Pat
Tyson.
Bryant. I would love me some Pat Bryant for sure.
Well, and you might say to me, like, well, Pat Bryant doesn't fit the Bears' needs. They need a slot receiver. They don't need a guy on the outside. Elijah Badger is not a slot receiver. He's not very fast. He runs a 4.43. He's 6'1", 200 pounds. He's a bigger guy. He's not small. He's not.
That's slot
He's
size-ish. I mean, and it's not all about speed in the slot too. It's about route running. It's about can you get space between your guy, but with smart route running. So I don't know if it's just about speed, but if you would tell me that, I don't know if the Bears would take him because he's not a slot receiver. I mean, the Bears can take an outside receiver and put DJ Moore right into that slot and be just fine. They have guys that can play.
They played in the slot a little last year.
Rome works really well in the slot with his route running. He does. You are correct. Yeah.
Yeah. QB rating when targeted, 97%. So by all measures, this guy is reliable.
And Fioris, what up, man? Hit that like button, everybody. Hey, just want to say thanks to everybody for joining us. Kevin Whitey, Ant Mass, Jedediah was talking his shit for a little bit. You know, we love Jed. He's always funny. And now Amphiora is joining us. Hit that like button, guys. Subscribe if you haven't. Share it with a friend. We appreciate y'all for being here. If you got any questions, we'll try to answer them. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. Thanks for staying up late. 97% when targeted. This guy's reliable. I mean, it's his quarterbacks are loved. His quarterbacks are loving him, I would imagine. And he's got a 75. I've never seen this before. He's got a 75 ranking across the board. Hands, short-term receiving, intermediate routes, deep threat, and blocking. All 75. This is the most average a guy.
Yeah, he's your fifth receiver in Madden, bro. That's what he is. I don't know what you would expect from a fifth round receiver. You take a chance. You take a chance generally on some kind of physical traits at that point versus, I don't know if you expect him to be a key contributor for your rotation at receiver. I mean, who knows? Again, I don't know anything about this guy, and I don't know what the Bears are expecting from a fifth round player. You see players, that stand out drafted later in the draft, but there's a lot more that just kind of become depth on your team and then fizzle out of the league. Like that's a pretty common thing for fifth round draft picks. So it's a crapshoot for sure.
Yeah, it's hard to grade this, Dustin. Obviously, we don't know a lot about Florida receivers. ESPN, 24/7 Sports and Rivals all have him as a 4 to 5 star recruit, which is actually better than Parrish. But
Foster, what up?
like I said, there's guys that I like. Jordan Tyson out of Arizona State and Pat Bryan out of Illinois are both projected fifth round picks. I love both those players more than a guy I've never really heard a whole lot about. And Florida just obviously wasn't the best program in the world last year, so maybe this was the diamond in the rough. But it would surprise me, Dustin, if the Bears took by every like so. We've been reading a lot about receivers lately, right? In the Bears news, we saw Rondell Moore had a visit here. We saw McCole Hardman had a visit here. We saw that they visited with some receivers that are speedsters, man. They've been looking at speed, right? By all measures, from what I've gathered, the Bears want to add speed at this position. So this is the first pick Miller makes that kind of goes against what the trends have suggested, right?
I mean, you talk about guy out of Texas reporting that Isaiah Bond is coming here for a top 30 visit. A guy like that in the Ben Johnson offense, those speedsters, those guys that can take the top off of defense, it's gonna be important, and it's gonna be special. It is. It's a necessary thing in this Ben Johnson offense. So you get excited when you think about that because if you're talking about and any one of these guys in last year's offense, it's just not as enticing. But if you pair that with Ben Johnson, smarts, and what you saw him do with Jamison Williams last year in that Lions offense, that's when you start to get excited. So yeah, I mean, anyone that you can add with some speed, Ben Johnson, I feel like is going to find a way to try to utilize that guy.
Well,
So
and
that
and
makes it
not
intriguing.
not only did Jamisons thrive under Ben Johnson, the only notable coach that Ben Johnson brought along with him from Detroit was his wide receivers coach, who obviously probably had a pretty big impact over Jamison Williams as well, which is why me and you were both kind of hoping Tyler Scott, they can crack that egg, right? Hopefully they get the most out of Tyler Scott they can. But I will say this, man, I really don't believe that if the Bears spend a draft pick versus just the undrafted free agents on a wide receiver, and I don't think it's going to be a guy who runs anything less than like a 4.35. I think that's what they're going to target. I think that's going to be what matters most to him. Isaiah Bond was compared to Xavier Worthy, although when he showed up to the combine, it didn't really work. I mean, he was saying in tweets prior to the combine he was going to possibly run a 4.1,
Yeah, he
and
was
it did.
gonna break the record for sure, but
Yeah,
then his teammate went faster than him, But it's not all about that either. He's a guy who would be good in the slot. He's a good route runner, and he was a good receiver at Texas. So I mean, like I don't know that the Bears will target a receiver in the area that he is going to be going. That's the second round you're talking at that point. So in the fifth round here, maybe you're looking for that guy, but as you mentioned, like the speed's
kind of
not
goes
really.
against the
Yeah,
grain.
the speed
Yeah.
that we're talking about with this guy here, Badger, is not really comparable to the speed that we think Ben Johnson will be looking for.
No, and it's actually pretty comparative because a 4.43. I mean, guys, we say he's not all that fast. He runs a 4.43. When you're talking about this guy next to your average human, he's incredibly fast. But my biggest concern with this, Dustin, is you have two guys that can run this speed on your roster already that should never come off the field for a guy who presents the same element, right? That's the difference in drafting a fast guy is DJ Moore and Rome Odunze aren't the fastest players in the NFL. You're bringing a new element when you draft a player who can top off at 23 miles an hour. This guy to me feels like a most likely lesser talented Rome Odunze or DJ Moore.
And I mean, as Kevin pointed out in the chat, man, that's probably just a special teams move if you're really looking at it, the way it probably should be looked at. So
Yeah,
I mean, it's hard to give that a very good grade, but it's also hard to give it a bad grade because it's the fifth round,
yeah, we just
man.
don't know a lot about the game.
Yeah.
So that's who Matt Miller has the Bears spending their fifth round pick on, and then guys, they again don't have a sixth round pick, so
And
the
real
Bears.
quick, we got Foster in here, and he's gonna love the seventh round pick from
Oh, what's
Matt
going
Miller.
on, Foster? Oh, no, Foster, I caught like the first 2 hours of your show. It was great, man. Don't be sorry about it. The show was awesome. You guys did a great job.
Their show's always
I
awesome.
like the unpacking of the cards, man. Shorty was opening football cards and hoping for a Caleb Williams card.
Did he
I don't know
find
why, but
any?
it fascinated. Yeah, he did actually get one. He said
Hey,
I think he got like 4 Bo Nix cards and he got pissed off. But I don't know why that stuff fascinates me, man. To see somebody open a fresh pack of cards and go through them. Yeah. So the next pick, guys, seventh round. The Bears don't have a sixth round pick. Would be seventh round, 233 from the Bengals. This pick was received, and Foster, drum roll, Luke Lachey, Iowa tight
hey.
end. That's who Matt Miller has the Bears selecting in the seventh round. I'm, I'm sure that Foster's jumping in his seat right now because he has pitched this guy's name a lot to us
Yeah,
guys
he
in the
calls
chat.
for him every mock draft we do.
That's why we're kind of calling him out right now.
Yeah.
Luke Lachey is an Iowa tight end. That means something to me in general. I'm going to be honest. I don't know how to quantify it, but this program consistently develops quality NFL tight
Yeah,
ends.
they're kind of tight end you, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, them and Notre Dame just consistently get drafted guys coming out of this program. He is ranked as 79 overall, Dustin. And for a guy you're taking in the seventh round, that's a pretty quality rating, to be honest with you. He is ranked the 11th best player at this position. Now, tight ends don't get drafted at a very high quantity in the NFL draft, so the top 10 to 12 guys will probably be drafted. Everybody else after that will be an undrafted free agent. I do think that Lachey gets drafted. I don't think that he makes it to undrafted free agency. I think that he
Oh,
is
he'll
drafted.
definitely be drafted. He'll definitely be
Yeah,
drafted.
and 24/7 Sports has him ranked as a 94 out of a 4 out of 5 stars, 94 out of 100. So they like this guy a lot more than ESPN. ESPN has him at a 76, but he runs. I mean, it's not really about the speed, guys. He runs a 4.72, pretty average when it comes to speed. His height 6'6", 250 pounds.
He's a
This
hell of a
guy,
pass blocker. He's a hell of he's a hell of a pass and run blocker. He's just a good blocker. He does the
yeah,
work.
and he's got a really, really, really high intermediate route rating, which I love because again, you're talking about middle of the field, right? Somebody who can line up not necessarily on the end of the line, but on the inside and catch the ball in the middle of the field. And Caleb Williams seemed to be very comfortable throwing the ball in the middle of the field, looking for guys like Cole Kmet, Keenan Allen, especially towards the end of the season. Him and Keenan Allen kind of developed something there. I would love to see bigger targets in the center of the field. Another guy that's like Cole Kmet that can catch the ball. I like this pick, Dustin. If you get
Let's
a
say
Lachey,
this. Let's say
go ahead.
this:
Yeah,
the Bears need a tight end. The Bears need a tight end, and they need
yeah,
to draft one. I believe. I really like Mason Taylor, who they have a top 30 visit scheduled with, and I really like Arroyo. But I mean, you're going to have to spend a higher draft pick to get those guys. So if you wait till the seventh round, Lachey is a great pick. Again, great. He'll be great in run blocking and extra lineman out there basically for you. And maybe he turns into a Heath Miller type thing. Who the hell knows? But I mean, you can definitely make worse picks in the seventh round, and
that
the Bears need a tight end badly.
if you get a Heath Miller in the seventh round, good lord, that
Hey,
you
no
do well.
worries, Shorty. No worries, Shorty. Thanks for
Yeah,
joining us.
guys, Foster Shorty, no worries, man. There's always another week. Like I said, I really enjoyed watching you guys show. The mock draft was fun. Very cool dynamic what you guys did tonight for sure.
So yeah, the Bears get a kind of a steal here in the seventh round by our accounts. I think it's a good pick. I like it better than the fifth round pick.
Yes. And then the Bears do have another seventh round pick, Dustin, the 240th overall pick from the Vikings by way of the Browns. So that's confusing. But Miles Hinton, Michigan offensive tackle. I believe he was their right tackle. He wasn't listed at top prospects in their pro day. So this guy didn't really he didn't really show up on the map even in just the Michigan program.
I gotta
That's
say, man, as soon as I saw the Matt Miller draft, the first thing I thought of when I saw the seventh round pick was Foster, and that's a little weird to think of Foster in the middle of my day. Like I've met him a couple times through StreamYard, basically, but like Foster has pushed for this guy so hard, and he thinks he's gonna be a
Hey,
tight end one or tight end two by his second season.
hey, you're thinking about Foster in the middle of your day. Shorty didn't remember my name. That's all right, Shorty.
This is an
And then
unfair relationship.
there's this is one sided. And then there's the confusion between myself and Brandon Hyatt, who's the size of an offensive tackle. If you'd met us both in person, you'd know the difference. Shout out to Tracks, by the way, guys.
He was an offensive tackle. Don't besmirch him
Yeah,
like that.
yes, he was.
It's not just the size of one.
Speaking of size, Miles Hinton is a big boy. This guy is 6'7". He's 325 pounds. He's a very large man. His vertical, surprisingly, was his best graded measurement. His vertical was 35. 35.
Shut up, Kevin.
For a guy who's 6'7". I'll stalk who I want to stalk. It's called an order of protection down there. Grades, Dustin, this is what impressed me the most. Grades by ESPN. Now, mind you, the last three prospects Matt Miller had the Bears selecting had pretty intermediate grades, 3 out of 5 stars. Grades from ESPN, 5-star prospect. 27 Sports, 4-star prospect. Rivals, 5-star prospect. This is definitely a guy.
This is coming on to the draft, or were those his ratings going to college?
No, this is his rating coming into the draft. This is his prospect rating. They have him. ESPN has him graded as the 3rd best at the position. Now, remind you, I said this is a right tackle, but what it feels like to me is this is a guy who, by all measures, could eventually be a good tackle in the NFL. I think this is. Go ahead.
He could be your swing tackle. I mean, they just lost Borum. They don't have a lot of depth at the tackle behind, Darnell Wright and Braxton Jones. I mean, you got Kiran Amagaji there, but add another guy there, and we saw the offensive line have issues with health. We were talking about that earlier today, Brandon. Guys constantly going down. The more depth you can add, it's just the one thing that's concerning to me is people who are looking at the Bears and addressing their needs, guys who do this for a living, like Matt Miller, are going to mock a 7-round draft and have them taking one offensive lineman and not until the 7th round. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I feel like the offensive line needs to be addressed a little heavier than that. I understand the moves that they made with Tooney and Jonah and Dahlman. Those are great moves. But I am not happy with the left tackle situation here in Chicago. I don't think anybody should be, and I don't think addressing it with a 7th-round pick is anywhere near sufficient enough. And it concerns me that people whose job is to prognosticate this stuff are trying to get into the Bears' head and saying, we're not touching an offensive lineman until the 7th fucking round. That I would not be okay with that. I got to say that.
Well, I agree with you. We talked about that before the show. This position, I think the Bears need to prioritize in the top 3 positions on their list. If you're talking about position versus player, but I'll read you this, man. If a scout were to draw up a starting NFL left tackle, the picture may look a lot like Hinton. His height, length, and athletic build are prototypical for the position that helps protect the blind side of the ultra important starting quarterback. Now listen to this.
What's up, PJ?
Attacks his man playing with a wide base and lateral agility to mirror sustained shuffle and help inside. He has size, strength, and quick feet. Also says very good at getting to second level blocks with a strong punch, heavy hands, and he's violent. Always love reading that about any kind of
violent. Violent is always good.
If I see that the V word when it comes to offense or defensive line, if I see violence, which he might be doing the nose wipe celebration. I don't know what they mean by violent, but by the way, guys, stupidest thing the NFL's ever announced.
Kevin asked, what does his vertical have to do with an offensive lineman? It shows strength in the legs, Kevin, in terms of getting push off the line when you come out of your stance. So I mean, it does, play a factor. I'm kind of with you. Like, some of these numbers are just ridiculous. I think knocking Will Campbell because his arms are 2/8 too small or whatever is just ridiculous. The guy can play. He put it on tape. But the vertical the broad jump, all those things kind of show the strength in the legs, the ability to push out of your stance, and that is important for sure.
And it does say this. Through 2020, he played majority of his snaps at left and some at right guard, most at left guard, and he did not allow a single sack. After becoming a tackle, I think he allowed 1 sack and 5 pressures. Yeah. So obviously, guys, Michigan had a decent season, so he he played pretty solid football, man. Um,
Again, I
that's it.
it sounds like a good pick for the seventh round in terms of what you just read, but there's probably some scouting reports that say other stuff too. So my main thing is you can't wait till the seventh round to address offensive line in this draft if you're the Chicago Bears. You've
Well,
started this process, finish it. Get your left tackle, get your starting left tackle of the future. Braxton Jones is not it, and he's coming off of his contract, and you don't want to have to resign this guy. You're not going to. So
and
get your starting left tackle of the now and the future in this draft if you can. Do not wait that long to address it.
and so overall, Dustin, I would probably say Matt Miller's draft grade is somewhere around a B, just because of the
I'd
first
give
three
it a B
picks.
plus. I'd give it a
The
B
first
plus
three picks
because
they
of
made.
those first three
But
picks. Yes.
we discussed the left tackle being addressed seventh round. There was a position of major need that when you sent me this morning, I was kind of infuriated over the hypothetical mock draft that I
The
was
edge,
reading.
no edge rusher.
No edge.
Yeah,
Did
yeah.
not even select a late round edge, not even a project edge like Austin Booker, not even the guy like, oh, maybe a year down the road. That bothers the hell out of me.
Bro,
I mean,
I've
this
never
is
done a 7 round mock for all 32 teams in the NFL. I imagine it's very hard and very
oh, I'm
time
sure.
consuming.
I'm sure.
But like you can't address every need in the draft. If you're an NFL team, you can't do it. You have all these needs. You have the board falls a certain way. You got to take the best guys available to add the most talent to your teams. And so it's not always going to work out to where you address every need, obviously. But there are certain needs I think that you have to really focus heavily on, and I think offensive line, that the left tackle specifically, and I think edge rusher are two of those positions that can't be neglected for another draft. I just don't think they can. And they took Karan last year, so it's not like they took Austin Booker last year. They traded back into the draft to get him. So I mean, like it's not like they've been neglecting it, but I don't think you don't take your foot off that gas. You have to add more depth. You have to add more talent to both the offensive line and the defensive line. And I think that's a no-brainer, Brando.
Yeah, I would like to see the Bears draft an edge in the second round, man. I really, really would. I would love it if they get a defensive tackle, but I need to see more pass rush from this team. And I think until they do that, Dustin, they're still ranked outside the top 15 defensively in the NFL. Um,
PJ agrees with us. Still need those trenches addressed. Thanks, PJ. Thanks for joining us. Hit that like
Fierce,
button, boss.
thanks for the insight. And Fierce is a big Michigan fan. He's a good project. He's talking about Hinton. Good project. Good size, good arm length, struggles with some speed rushers. Okay, so that's probably why he's a seventh round pick. Maybe a guy who just needs a year in the NFL to get used to the speed, because if he struggles with speed rushers now, he's, he's in for a pretty big surprise when he makes it to the big leagues, man.
Let me say also, I'm not ready to throw Austin Booker was a rookie in a project when he was drafted. Everyone knew this. Karan Amagaji was injured. He's a rookie. He's a project. These are guys that could still turn into talented players. I just don't want to bank on it, and I don't want to neglect the trenches. I want to keep adding pieces to that to where I have depth and rotation, and I can feel really confident that the Bears are trying to play winning football by addressing those things. That's really where it comes down to. But I think Karan and Austin Booker, especially Austin Booker, Brandon, can turn into some solid players in the NFL.
Well, and I will say this. I mean, well, first off, you know that I love Landon Jackson, so I hope if they were to have a tackle available, even a good tackle, man, like Kenneth Grant
You
or
would
an edge
take Kenneth
rusher.
Grant over Landon Jackson, wouldn't you?
I don't know. I
No?
don't know.
Okay.
I mean, I think the majority consensus would be that he's going to be a better player.
He's a higher rated player for sure right now.
Yeah, I see something in Landon Jackson, man, that I think the kid's going to be a really special player just because the motor he has. He doesn't quit, man. The guy, but I do think the Bears are going to focus heavily on the trenches guys after they pass that 10th overall pick. Obviously, you just want to take the best. Me and Dustin have been big advocates of this. If you're not going to trade back, take the best player available with that pick. We just talked about Will Johnson. If that's the guy who's left at 10, take Will Johnson. You
Add
just
that
got the
talent to your
yeah,
team. Yes,
you
add
just
that
got
talent to your
probably
team.
the best corner coming out of college, right?
And if you draft Genty like Matt Miller projects here, then you're getting probably the best running back in this draft and maybe one of the best running backs that's been drafted in the last 10 years. So you can't go wrong if you're following that philosophy of the best player available, especially at that number 10 pick. Honestly, I think the Bears should really follow that philosophy all the way through this draft and add as much talent as possible to this team because we saw last year they were talent deficient in some pretty key areas and that cost them big time. It did.
It's something I don't want to overlook, Dustin. They did have the Bears draft. Matt Miller did have the Bears drafting Hinton, what by all measures, from what Ampharius said, a decent tackle, a project tackle, another Karan Amagaji, unfortunately. But they were at OSU's pro day, right? They went to Ohio State's pro day where the number one left tackle prospect played college football. This is a guy
Cubs
who's
did win 10-6, Brandon. Cubs won 10 to
nice.
6.
2 wins in Chicago. All right, good way to start the season, man. I
And
know Justin Steele.
Texas Tech beat Arkansas. Texas Tech beat Arkansas. Missed that notification. That game went to overtime.
I think I had that in my bracket actually. I didn't have Arkansas there.
Yeah, I
But
was
I
about
had Texas
to
Tech.
say,
I
yeah.
had Texas Tech winning. So Josh Simmons, Dustin, in regards to the left tackle prospects, the number one left tackle prospect in college football played for Ohio State, where the Bears were yesterday. So, do you think that that's a guy who's on their radar at the 10th overall pick? Or are you thinking this is a trade back candidate, or not on the Bears' radar at all? They were there strictly for
I,
running
th-
backs.
I think he's worth taking at 10 if you're confident in his medicals. That's the biggest issue with him is the injuries. He did 33 bench press reps, which would be tied for the most at the combine. Like he's got strength,
Yeah,
he's got
he's
ability,
huge.
he's got ability. He is a pure left tackle, which is exactly what the Bears need. I would not be disappointed at all if they took him at 10 as long as they felt confident in his medicals being cleared. If that's in question at all, do not touch it. We just saw Tevin Jenkins sign for $3 million for 1 year with the Browns because he cannot make himself available consistently.
And
That's
he was drafted that way.
exactly. So you want to avoid falling into that same pattern again. If you feel confident in his medicals, you got to go for it. But even then, you just never know with these guys who are coming into the league injured already.
But yeah, in
a tough
regards
pill
to
to swallow.
to his build, I saw the video he released to kind of the prove it video, right? The video he released to kind of show his agents and all these NFL GMs he's getting back into rare form. That guy is built like a defensive. He's huge, and I don't mean like offensive lineman huge, Dustin. Like typical. These guys carry a lot of weight. He is like shredded. He does not look like your prototypical left tackle. I mean, that guy he's like the Myles Garrett on the offensive side of the ball, man. That guy he's pretty
Listen,
big.
Ohio State has ballers at all levels of the football field. Cody Simon is a guy, that linebacker, who will be a steal for somebody. Quinshawn Judkins, I think, is the best running back in this draft. Travion Henderson is right there with him. I mean, just so much. Emeka Egbuka, who could end up
Yeah,
being the best receiver in this
yeah.
draft.
He's
And
climbing boards right now.
Will Howard, who I think is going to be a much better quarterback than people expect in the NFL. I think he's a Kirk Cousins level of potential quarterback in the NFL. It's Jack Sawyer. You have so many talented players at Ohio State. It makes total sense that the Bears, all of them were there. The Bears brass was there because there's a lot of talent to pick from. And if Donovan Jackson, we can just go on and on. If
Yeah.
the Bears pick from that stable multiple times, I'll be happy about that. You saw this team kick ass all season. They got a bunch of guys that play really hard.
Yeah, I'm very content with the idea that the Bears brass has now been to Michigan's pro day, Ohio State's pro day, and Texas pro day. These are all programs that develop quality pro players, man. And in regards to Texas, once again, we just discussed Josh Simmons. I went to Texas. They were probably looking at Calvin Banks, I would imagine, pretty up close. And so the Bears are targeting tackles. That is not something they're overlooking. But while we're on the subject of Texas, Dustin, you informed me this morning the Bears had a top 30 visit. It was reported by Jay, actually, right? Just another year. The Bears had another top 30 visit. It is a Texas receiver, guys, Isaiah Bond, who is a junior. He stands at 5'11", 180 pounds, known primarily for his speed. This was the guy who promised the world he was going to run a 4-1, right? Is that what it was? It was I think it was a
I thought he
4-1.
said. I don't remember, man.
No, it was I think he said four because I remember hearing him being like, what the? It was a 4-1 flat. I think that he said he was gonna run. So this guy
You're
pretty
gonna have
much.
to take Isaiah Bond with that 39th pick if you want him. 39th or 41st. That's where you're gonna have to go if he's still there. So I mean, that's a high pick to put into a receiver. If Ben Johnson wants it, I think you get it for him. But it's like I feel like that's way too high to take a receiver in this draft for this particular
Do
Chicago Bears
you
team.
think?
I think
Do you think?
Rome is gonna fucking go off this year. Rome Odunze is gonna have an awesome year. I don't want to spend a high draft pick on a receiver, honestly.
Do
The
you
slot
think?
receiver is important though. It is.
You think though that he's ranked 11th at the position out of this class? You think that the top 10 guys are going to be gone in the first 2 rounds?
I mean, I think there's a high potential. You're definitely not getting him with the 72nd pick, Brendan. I'll tell you that. So if you want that guy, you have to take him with one of those 2 second-round picks. I don't see him being there at 72. I
And he
just
did
honestly don't.
he did run a 4.39, guys, and we know he's faster than that. He didn't have his best day at the combine. This guy can probably run realistically closer to a 4.31. I believe he Dart, yeah, Dustin,
His
you told
on
me
the field speed is
he ran
huge.
a 4.29 unrecorded in college. He ran a
Yeah,
4.29.
that's what Draft Buzz had as his unofficial 40 time. Yeah. So I
Yeah.
mean, and his play speed is really freaking fast. When you
And
watch him on the field, he plays fast.
and as Dustin mentioned, easily the best receiver at Texas. Texas had a pretty solid year. Two quarterbacks were both close to being Heisman winners on that program.
Well,
And
him and Golden, Matthew
yeah,
Golden.
and yeah, Matthew Golden is climbing draft boards right now. But obviously, Texas guys, we know they play good football. We know they played a good conference. The defensive ranking was close to 80% that he played against. And his QB rating when targeted, guys, this is what impressed me the most about Isaiah Bond, 108.1. Now, he did play with two of the better college quarterbacks. I don't think Quinn Ewers is going to be a good pro quarterback, but he was a hell of a college quarterback.
I didn't
Um,
even like him as a college quarterback. Not when it
well, I mean,
mattered. He couldn't
he
make the
made
throw.
Texas. He helped Texas
Yeah.
compete. But yeah, no, I didn't believe Texas was ever going to be close to a championship with Quinn Ewers at quarterback. I think Arch Manning could change the story for them next year. But his ratings across the board, Dustin, Isaiah Bond, are pretty darn good, all except for his blocking. He's obviously probably not looked at as a primary blocker.
What it
Ben
comes
Johnson.
down to is speed, man. The Ben Johnson in this offense, they want speed. They need more speed at the receiver position. So that makes sense that they're looking at Bond for that.
This makes more sense to me than Matt Miller's selection of Parrish or Jacob Parrish,
Badger,
whatever.
Elijah
Badger,
Badger.
sorry, Elijah Badger. Yeah, this is a little more in line with what I've been reading and with the Bears' recent trends. Visiting with guys like Rondell Moore, McCole Hardman, I could see them taking a player like this who brings this sort of element instead of a guy like Badger. I don't know that it's going to be Bond, like you said, Dustin. They'd have to probably reach a little bit for a position they don't need to spend anything on, right? And you know what the undrafted free agents, the Bears are going to bring in 35 receivers like they always do. Some of these guys are going to be fast. And then I'm still
The jury's still not out on Tyler Scott.
no, I was just going to say
Yeah,
we just talked
exactly.
about Austin Booker being a project. Tyler Scott is a player you and I both liked in the
I
draft, and a player.
loved him at Cincinnati. I loved him coming out of that draft. I would love to see him get some opportunities. I don't want to see the Bears spend a second round pick on a receiver. I really don't. And again, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I don't think you're getting Bond in the third round. Third round and up, I'll touch a receiver if they're the best player on my board at that time. But there are definitely bigger issues to be addressed for the Bears, and there are better players to be had with those picks. So listen, you're gonna look at guys with speed for the Bears for this receiver position, but Scott is still there, and like I just said, man, Roma Dunze is about to dominate this league. I think you have a legit number one route running specialist, ass kicking contested catch. Like this guy can out jump most people for the ball at its high point. He is in for a hell of a season, and I just don't know how much you need to put into this receiver position in terms of draft capital, man. I want to see Rome get his.
Well, and You mentioned a guy's name, Dustin, that I would have taken in the second round from Texas, and it's not Isaiah Bond. I think Matthew Golden's going to be a very special player in the NFL, and I would have drafted that guy in the second round. But I
There's
think
no way
this is
it's going to be
I
there.
think this is the shock pick of the draft. I think this is the draft darling. This guy was projected high second, early second round a couple months ago.
He's now in the high 20s.
I think he goes.
He's
I
now in
think
the
he
top
goes.
20.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think he goes between 15 and 20, which is probably the most substantial increase in draft projection after the combine. He really surprised people, blew people away at the combine. But yeah, I'm
I
with
see
you,
him
man.
ranked in the teens on most draft boards right now. He's
Yeah,
in the teens. So yeah,
I'm
he's definitely going in the first round.
I'm with you. I think as long as the two of them stay healthy, if you roll into this season with DJ Moore and Roma Dunze take a majority of your snaps, you're just fine. Roma Dunze,
I think so.
I think Roma Dunze is the best receiver on the Bears. And a lot of people are going to give me shit for that. I know there's a
No,
lot
no,
of,
no, you're 100%. Yeah, Roma
yeah,
Dunze is going to light the league on fire. I really expect huge things from him this year. And his second year with Caleb, it's going to be special. And now Caleb might. We expect that Caleb will have the time to make the reads and make the throws with timing and anticipation and better ball placement because he has that time. Roman Dunze is going to feast this season.
yeah. And it
He
was
is.
pretty transparent, guys. You didn't take a lifelong football fan to see it last year, even as a rookie. Roma Dunze is special. He is.
Yeah.
He's the player that they drafted at 9. He's
He's
going to be a
already
guy.
really good. He's already
Yeah,
really good.
he's gonna be a consistent 1,000 yards plus receiver. He's gonna be in the end zone a lot, and he's Caleb Williams' like best friend. I don't know. The relationship seemed to work right off the bat, man. I mean, literally right after they walked off the stage, right as Roma Dunze was talking to his family. I think it was his grandmother or grandfather on the phone. Caleb sneaks up behind him, literally behind the stage where Roger Goodell's still announcing picks, and these two give each other a big hug, and they're clearly very excited to be on the same team because they both believe in their abilities. And Roma Dunze is going to make just as big an impact at the receiver position as Caleb Williams does at the quarterback. I believe that for sure.
Roman Dunze is a better receiver than Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
that's gonna show this season.
Yeah, I think so too. And I thought so before. I think me and you both thought so before the draft. Now we both like Malik Neighbors more, but
Yeah.
Malik Neighbors wasn't there, and I don't blame the Bears for not trying to trade up to get a Malik Neighbors when Roma Dunze was likely still going to be there, and they took the right guy. And I don't care about whether or not the Bears needed him, needed a receiver. I'm very happy Roma Dunze is on my football team. And Dustin, while we're talking about top 30s on the subject of Isaiah Bond, I know that you did a little bit of homework in regards to Ryan
Very,
Pohl's
very little
draft
bit.
Ryan Pohl's draft trends and what it means to be a top 30 visit for the Chicago Bears. Does it mean anything at all, Dustin? If Ryan Pohl's visits with you, are you going to be a first round pick on the Chicago Bears if you're one of their top 30?
Uh, 2022. It's hard to say. 2022 was. It's hard to find. I did find the like 20 of the top 30 visits, man. And the only one that is on their team right now that was one of those visits is Daniel Hardy. Daniel Hardy was an undrafted free agent, and he started his career with the Rams, and now he's on the Bears. So you see that these top 30 visits mean something either way. Like Daniel Hardy was put on the Bears practice squad for that reason. 2023, man, this gets you a little bit more substance. Uh, Top 30 visits that were drafted by the Bears: Darnell Wright, Tyler Scott, Javon Dexter, Tyreek Stevenson. That's 4 out of their 10 picks in 2023 were top 30 visits. And now in 2024, Caleb, Rome, and Karan Amagaji were top 30 visits that were drafted. That's 3 out of 5 picks. So it's it's not like it's conclusive or anything, but you can definitely see a trend in terms of what you should be expecting in the draft based on these top 30 visits. These top 30 visits do mean something to Ryan Poles. Another guy that was a top 30 visit for the Bears last year was undrafted free agent Keith Randolph, defensive tackle out of
Out of
Illinois.
Illinois, who
Yeah.
also did end up on the Bears. And he was signed by the Bears prior to this season, and then he never. I think they sent him to. They cut him and re-signed him to the practice squad before the season even began. But he was actually given a contract by the Bears. So yeah, Dustin, what obviously what you've just provided us is that Ryan Poles top 30 visits, they're probably going to be. I mean, some of those players are going to end up being Chicago Bears. These are the guys
The
so
last 2
far.
years, your 3 first-round picks were all top 30 visits.
Yeah, I would imagine
So
the
look
guys
at
they
that.
select.
Look at that.
Yeah, the guys they select in those first 2 days are probably going to be guys they've already visited with, and it's important that you do, guys, because you get more than just a little insight on the player. You get medicals, you get your own doctors get to see these guys. You know what I mean? It's important. A lot of people are like, well, there's 30 of them. Like, why is it so important you use them on the right guys? Because you get intel that you don't get from a combine interview, which lasts 5 to 6 minutes. You know what I mean? Kyle even
Yeah.
said he believes the combine interviews were being timed. They're down to like I think 7 minutes. You have to keep your combine interview under.
Well,
Um,
that's for fairness.
Yeah, these
You
guys are
know,
getting pulled in a lot of directions.
yeah,
This is
yeah.
the list of the guys so far. This is the most recent list that I've seen. Josh Connerly, the offensive tackle out of Oregon, Ashton Genty, Nick Martin, an inside linebacker out of Oklahoma State, who we broke down some film on, guys, on the Household Hangover. He is projected to be an undrafted free agent.
Yeah.
So maybe this individual ends up on your practice squad, like Dustin had just suggested. Brashard Smith, guys, the running back out of SMU, who they I think this guy
He's
is
got
supposed.
speed. He's
He
got
was a
speed.
wide receiver for three
Yeah.
years and then ended up playing running back his senior year, and he ran for 1,300 yards. This is like a Chase Brown type player.
He's a gadget guy. He's a
Yeah.
guy you can split out wide and,
A,
and make
a,
him a slot receiver
yeah.
potentially.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, that's what I was going to. He played receiver for 3 years, so this guy can catch the ball pretty well out of
Yes.
the
Yes.
backfield. And he's not Tariq Cohen small, where he's going to get murdered in his first to second season. You know what I mean? So that with Isaiah Bond, right now, that's all that Walter Football, guys. This is where I see this list. That's all that's listed right now for their top 30 visits.
You forgot
Ashton
Will. No, you forgot. Oh, wait, you got Will Campbell, Ashton Genty.
Will Campbell right now is just listed as a combine interview, not a top 30 visit. Did
Mhm.
they actually do a top 30 with Will Campbell?
Yeah. Mason Taylor is on this too, but yeah, it's got the com next to it too. Yeah, you're right. And then
I
Joseph
think
Vaughn was a pro day. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
and Vaughn is. I don't know why that's even on
Vaughn is
there.
a pro
Oh,
day that they attended. Uh, Listen, this shit's confusing. It really
no, it
is.
is.
It's one of the most confusing things about the Bears, about NFL offseason in general. But Josh Connerly would be a guy I'd be very interested in if you can get him in the second round. I would be
I love
very
Connerly.
interested.
Connerly
Yeah.
is he is pretty much on, because I'm looking at Walter. It shows every team's top 30 visits. This guy's on like 20 teams' top 30 visits. I mean, clearly
Yep.
there's something here. This guy's impressing
What up,
people.
Illinois Jones?
Maybe it's his character as well as who he is on the football field, because every team seems to have interest in this individual. So if that's a player the Bears end up drafting, you guys should probably be happy about that. A lot of teams seem to like this guy.
And yeah, as the more of these top 30 visits come out, you're gonna see your first round pick as one of these top 30 guys. I would feel pretty confident betting on that. And then I mean, if the Bears have 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 draft picks, right? So I mean, like three to four of those are going to be top 30 visits.
Well, if it's any indication, guys, who the Bears are going to pick at the 10th overall pick, because we've all, done our mock drafts for the last month and we've all wondered and pondered over this. Look at the guys that they give top 30s to that are projected around number 10. It's probably going to be one of those guys, right, Dustin? Ashton Genty, if they visit Will Campbell, if they visit Mason Graham, if they visit
I'll
Tyler
be
Warren.
shocked. I'll be shocked if Will Campbell's available at 10, Brando.
Yeah, me as well.
I'll be shocked. Like this guy is a fucking stud. People just keep. I hope he slides.
He's blue.
I would love for him to slide to 10 because that's a no brainer for me. Will Campbell is, and I'll start him at left tackle. And if he can't do it, only if he can't do it, would I then consider moving him to guard. I'm not bringing him into the fold to be a guard for me without trying him at the spot that he kicked ass at against elite competition for 3 years straight from the time he was a fucking freshman. Like I'm not giving him that chance at left tackle.
Jonah Jones says, check out Andrew Armstrong, Arkansas. I will definitely do that, man. And another guy that, I don't know if you're aware of him, another guy that I really like, guys, that could be a potential fifth, sixth, even seventh round pick, Jordan Tyson out of Arizona State. This guy is a touchdown machine. He's got a really good size. He is an outside receiver. He's not a slot receiver. He's not the fastest guy in the world. And as we've forestated, I think that the Bears are definitely going to be looking for speed if they're trying to add a receiver through the draft for sure.
Listen, everybody who's here, we're popping off. We got like 30 people here with us right now, man. At 12:45 a.m. in Chicago. Mo Lester is in the building. What up, brother? How you doing? Anyone? Okay. That you are the perfect person to be here with us on Thursday nights for the bare minimum, Mo Lester. Please hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button.
We're just waiting on Pete F. Isle. See if he's making an appearance.
But I just want to say thank you to everybody for being here, guys. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe. We like to have fun. I mean, I don't want to like make everyone go away, but the Bulls played a fucking crazy game tonight, man. Do we want to get into that at all?
Well, I'm doing it. I'm doing it, guys. If you didn't see this, you get to watch it here now at Sports Star Chicago.
Timeouts. 2 seconds left. Giddy for the win. Go!
Oh my God! I cannot believe this. Elizabeth, I'm coming, baby. Oh
no! I wish I would have been able to see it better, but
yeah, that is
it was a little grainy.
That is I'm learning, guys. I'm learning media right now. I had to do a lot to get that video on here. It has to be an MP4. I didn't even know what that was. I'd never heard the term before. There's a 46-foot buzzer beater by Josh Giddey to beat the Lakers for the second time in under a week. This time in Chicago. That was a great call by Stacey King, Dustin. Always is.
Oh, this is Foster? Mo Lester is Foster?
No, I didn't know that.
I feel betrayed. Well, make sure you subscribe.
We still love you being here. You're still perfect for Thursday night. Yeah.
Dude, Josh Giddey is fucking amazing. Can we talk about what led up to that? Because the Bulls were down 5 with 12 seconds left. They do a beautiful inbound play where Vooch catches him before he jumps in the air and catches the inbound pass. And before he can even fall down, come down to the ground, he kicks it to the corner to Patrick Williams. And LeBron's lazy ass bails on Patrick Williams, just leaves him. Patrick Williams is wide. He just like he didn't think Patrick Williams needed to be guarded, and I don't blame him. Patrick Williams sucks, but Patrick Williams knocks down this shot, and then LeBron has the inbound pass, and he throws this lazy ass fucking inbound pass. I love LeBron, but this was not a good finish to the game for him. Throws this lazy ass inbound pass, and Josh Giddey steals it, dribbles around like Bob Cousy, finds Kobe White wide open for a 3, bang. Then the Bulls take a 1-point lead, and then you get Patrick Williams sucky ass playing defense on Austin Reeves, and Austin Reeves walks right by him and gets a layup to take the lead. There's 3.5 seconds left. The Bulls have no timeouts, and that's what you just saw. Josh Giddey, who stole the ball to even give the Bulls a chance to be in that game, for him to make that shot, knocks it down in from half court, man.
Just 46 feet. And again, LeBron just kind of allows that shot to occur. I don't know if you've said LeBron on that final shot is in the vicinity and is just like, eh. Like I get that too. I get assuming that shot's not going to be made, but you got to defend it, man.
You don't want to foul either. You don't want to foul because that makes it way too easy. But the moral of the story here, guys, is that as much as we've dogged on the Bulls, and honestly, I cannot forgive them for going to this other fucking network and not even making sure your fans can find a way to get easy access to you. Exactly. Yeah. I'm so upset about that. And this Bulls front office, which has made dumb move after dumb move and held on to mediocrity for far too long. They've made a few moves here recently, Brandon, that at least give you some hope and make this team fun. The first one was trading for Josh Giddey. You traded Alex Caruso, who was on the last year of his deal, who's
30 years old.
Yeah, for Josh Giddey, who was a top 10 pick for a fucking reason. This guy's a walking triple-double. Brandon, I said at the time, everyone was making fun of that trade. Josh Giddey was a steal with that trade, and he has shown it all year. And he's been on my fantasy basketball team, which didn't make the playoffs, but that's not Josh Giddey's fault. But, he's been amazing for this Bulls team, and he is a centerpiece to build around. They drafted Matas Buzelis. They re-signed Kobe White for the best contract in the NBA, dude. 3 years, 36 million. And this guy's been the best player in the NBA fucking for the entire month of March, basically.
Yeah.
Just unstoppable. So the Bulls made those 3 moves, adding Josh Giddey, re-signing Kobe White, and adding Matas Buzelis. And then they traded Zach LaVine, which has made this team better too. So that's another move that they've made that has really led to them being pretty fucking fun to watch, at least, right? And the chat is blowing up right now. Yeah, LeBron really botched that whole end of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. This Bulls team has been just that, Dustin. Like you said, it's been really fun to watch, and unfortunately, most of us can't. But this Bulls team is starting to be a little. It's exciting. And I'm Dustin. How many years have we been sitting here saying let the young guys play?
Fuck. Besides Patrick Williams.
Yeah, don't let him play anymore. Well, he's borderline not young anymore when it comes to how seasoned he is as an NBA player. But yeah, I suggest
he needs a little more seasoning. He needs a little more.
I know,
seasoning.
guys. I know we do primarily Bears here. We are Chicago, all things Chicago sports. The Cubs and Sox won today. Hooray for that! But if you're not a big NBA guy, or not a big Bulls guy, or you haven't been since Michael Jordan, this team is fun to watch. They really
Foster,
are.
you better be subscribed on all these accounts, brother.
And I think this Bulls team has now won. I believe it's like 9 of the last 12 or something like that. They went 4-6 on the road trip, the longest road trip of their season, beating the Lakers for the final game of the road trip by 146-15. So LeBron has just not had a good run in with the Bulls as of late.
And Luka really gets upset by Josh Giddey. Josh Giddey really gets under Luka's
he does not
skin.
like him. Man. I don't know if
awesome.
is there something there from when they were on Dallas and Oklahoma? Like
I don't know. Maybe he fucked his girlfriend, dude. I don't know. Josh Giddey's a pimp. But he's just always in Luka's face the entire game. Like he's just up his ass the entire time, and Luka hates that. Luka wants his space, So
yeah.
I mean, in the last game, he pushed him and got attacked. He's just visibly pissed off by Josh Giddey anytime.
Kevin says LeBron needs to go play with the sky. Yes, such a big advocate for these
maybe Angel Reese is just LeBron in a wig, bro.
Yeah, well, no, she'd be able to shoot if that was the case. She'd be able to make a jumper, an 18-foot, if that was the case. Yeah, good day for Chicago sports, Dustin.
Hell yeah, man!
And a good day for your Blue Devils, right?
The Blue Devils won. Cooper Flag had 30 points, bro. Cooper Flag fucking killed it. And that. What do you have? 6 rebounds, 7 assists, too. This guy is going to be a beast in the NBA. He's going to be a glue guy for somebody. And like this talk about Josh Giddey and Cooper Flag coming into the league, man. I just been like obsessing over Josh Giddey, and it just made. I don't know why I wanted to have a white guy NBA draft, and you really weren't open to it. It didn't feel like it took some convincing. I don't know if anybody in the chat's gonna like it, but fuck it, like it's almost 1:00 in the morning, and I love the NBA, and I love white guys in the NBA. Like I just love when they're balling, man. Like Josh Giddey today, what he did, just unbelievable. And if you look at his stats over these last few games, it's just like it's historic shit, man. So it's like
I want here in Chicago, and that's good.
Yeah, which is cool too. But I wanted to.
The guy, he wasn't the player he was drafted to be in Oklahoma City. Players seem to thrive, Dustin, when they get to United Center.
No, bro, it was about opportunity. SGA needs the ball in his hands. Josh Giddey needs the ball in his hands. The Thunder made the right decision to get the ball into SGA's hands. That's why Josh Giddey got completely devalued. That's why he was not playing in the playoffs last year for the Thunder, because it just did not work for their team, which created this market deficiency for him that the Bulls totally capitalized on. So they deserve kudos for that. As much as I knock AK and Eversley, this was a fucking great move, and it's paying dividends for him. And at least it makes this team fun. Giddey has been good this entire time. He was good when he was drafted, 100%.
And he's made the team better, most important, which is what a true point guard should do. He's made this entire team better, for sure. So let's do it, Dustin. Me versus Dustin, guys. We're going to draft our five white starters.
If we can maybe go a 6-man, too. We'll see how it goes.
5
but
guys
I mean,
who look slightly different than ourselves.
Just for the hell of it, because like I want to see how we think. I want to see how you guys think these teams would stack up if they were actually playing in the NBA. Like, would they go 37 and Sorry, go ahead.
And then obviously tell me whose team is better. Mine. But yeah, go ahead and tell us in the chat whose
Brandon,
team you like more. How do we decide who picks first?
I was just gonna say, if you want the first pick, you can have it. But
Okay, well, if I get the first pick, I'm taking Jokic.
no. So we're starting this. We're starting this already. You weren't even on the clock. Yeah, Jokic is your pick, and that should be your pick. He is the best player in basketball, period. So,
And I know who you're picking.
one knocked off. Who am I picking? Hey, here's a question: can we have Cooper Flag in this draft?
Yes, that's I intended.
That's a prerequisite. We need Cooper Flag in this draft. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, it's Luka. Luka's my guy. I got my ball handling point guard, small forward, whatever I need him to be. So yeah, you got Jokic. I got Luka. Who's your next pick, Brandon?
Oh man, I think I'm gonna go.
We're already out of players.
I'm gonna go Chet Holmgren, man.
You're going Jokic and Chet?
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong? I should not have given you the first pick. You're such a piece of shit. What is wrong with you? What the fuck? God damn it. Okay, we'll do this then. I'm gonna go with. You're such a bastard, dude.
There's a lot of big men out there, man.
Yeah, I just don't like Domantas Sabonis. Like Sabonis is the guy you have to take. I mean, just to match up with Jokic in this situation. But fuck it, I'll go Cooper Flag.
All right, if you're going Cooper Flag, I'm gay. If you already got Luka, I'm taking my point guard now. I'm taking Giddey, man. I'm taking Josh Giddey. That's gonna be my next pick.
Okay, so right now you have
Bulls.
Giddey, Jokic, and Chet because you're a little that was such bullshit, dude. And I got Luka and Flag. So Luka's my point. I got Flag to play the small forward. Maybe power forward. I don't know yet. It's gonna depend on how I line this up. Who's the cat from UConn last year? That's Donovan Clingan, Illinois Jones, and he will be picked. And Brandon don't need no more centers, so at least I know I can hold off on these guys. So I got Luka, Flag. I'm gonna go with Tyler Hero.
I knew you were gonna fucking do it, you asshole.
I'm gonna go with Tyler Hero.
He's the only shooting guard there.
So right now I got Luka, Hero, and Flag, bro. I mean, you got Jokic and Chet, but I got Luka, Hero, and Flag.
This is where it gets slim, man. This is where we run into trouble here because now you're talking
It's slim pickings, bro. This is why I
now
wanted
you're
to do this. You're like, I could do this. This is easy.
I think I'm just gonna take a player for talent, man, and not necessarily worry about how he fits in. I'm gonna go Lowry.
You're such a fucking piece of shit. What the fuck, man?
Hey, I still don't have the position that matters the most in the league, man.
Illinois Jones wants us to go for Dougie McBuckets. Yeah, no, we're good on that.
Yeah, Dustin was gonna take Mac McClung and then
Listen, I got Luka, Hero, and Flag, and I'm gonna have to go with Franz Wagner.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
What do you mean? You need another 6'11" white guy on your team? Get out of here.
Is he that big?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Motherfucker, you have Markin and Chet and Jokic.
I know my team's phenomenal. It's just
all right, we're going more than 5 here. We gotta go more than 5 because there's some other guys we gotta get to.
Really?
Yeah, there are.
We're already running out of juice here.
you got your 5th guy. What do you got?
All right, man. Then I'm gonna go Austin Reeves.
Austin Reeves, very good. So you got Reeves, Giddey, Markkanen, Chet, Jokic. I'm gonna have to go Sabonis here at this point.
I knew you would.
Well, I have to. I got to get my center.
Donovan.
Luka, Hero, Flag, Wagner, Sabonis. Yeah, Wagner has his brother. They play for the same. They both play on the Magic. Mo Wagner, who was in the league before him. You are correct, Illinois Jones. But I don't think he's going in this draft. I didn't write his name down. Yeah, they're German. They're German.
Yeah, you've got 3 players left that could potentially make a difference here.
Who's your 6th man then?
This is tough, man. This is tough. I'm gonna go Porzingis.
You're going Porzingis. Okay, so you're just a team full of big men.
Yeah, it's a big,
just
it's a
like
big ex-
unicorns. I'm just putting
yeah.
unicorns out there. Okay, very good. Uh, I'm gonna go Denny Avdia.
Yeah, he's finally turned. I did not believe in that kid a year ago, man. I did
I
not.
did. I never stopped believing.
Really? I don't know
Never
what it
stopped
is, man.
believing.
When you're drafted to Washington, I almost just write you off because that team. I mean, we've talked about some bad programs in major sports, Dustin. How fucking bad is that Washington Wizards?
I think they're about to be turning a corner. They got Bub Carrington over there. Jordan Poole's finally playing. Sarr is going to be a good player.
Kuzma's annoyingly still consistent, man.
Kuzma's not on that team anymore.
Oh,
He's
did he
on the
get traded?
Bucks. Yeah, he's on the Bucks.
Well, and then the guys we left out because
Shut up, man.
we each have our 6 man, right?
Let's go one more. Let's go
Okay,
one more.
I'll take Bertans.
Bertans?
Was it Bertans?
Yeah.
Bertans?
You just took the worst pick of the draft for sure. Thank you.
He's a 3-point stud.
Sure he is. He's a total stud. That guy. Bertans sucks, dude. That's a wasted pick. I'm gonna go Alperen Şengün, and I thought Matt was gonna. Matt threw it in the chat before I took him.
Yeah, I was thinking about Sengun, but I couldn't find his name. Like literally in my mouth, I couldn't find his name. He's had a hell of a season.
I know what you
fantasy.
could find in your mouth, though, Brandon.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, I guess it's late enough for this.
Find my team's nuts in your mouth.
All right, let's hear it, guys.
I think we should go one more.
All right, I'm going Buzelis just because I'm a hometown guy, man.
Buzelis.
I think he's going to be a stud. I think Buzelis is going to be a much better player than he is today.
I'm gonna go for the guy that's gonna win 6-man probably this year.
Robinson.
Nah, Peyton Pritchard.
Oh yeah, yeah. I loved him at was it Oregon? Yeah.
Yep.
Right? Oregon Ducks. Yeah. I was always curious why they didn't use him at all. He didn't play any basketball for like the first 2 years of his career, man. All right, well, should we go one more?
I got space. I got picks, man. We're gonna go a whole 10. We're gonna be able to make 2 10-man rosters.
No, I think this will be it, man. I think
I got a few.
I think what?
I got a few still.
I don't.
Want me to throw you one? You need some shooting and you need a guard.
I know I need some shooting. I was gonna say I hate saying it, man, but he actually had a quality year last year and he's been okay this year. I'm gonna go DiVincenzo.
DiVincenzo? That was on my list. I would have went Braun if I were you, but DiVincenzo.
I like Braun. I like Braun as a rookie a lot, to be honest.
I'm gonna have to go. I need some bigs to rotate in to just throw at Jokic here because like Jokic is gonna be playing 48 minutes a game. I'm gonna have to. I got Wagner and Sabonis as my front court right now with Şengün, so I'm gonna have to go with it's either Walker Kessler or Donovan Clingan. Clingan has not really showed as much as I expected this year, so I'm gonna go with Kessler.
All right, I'm gonna go a guy who we both forgot about, but Foster reminded me. I'm gonna go Vooch.
No, I didn't forget about him. I just don't really think Vooch is very good.
Yeah, he's a system guy.
I mean, he hit a big three in tonight's game, Vooch, and he made a big block. He made a big block on one end and then came down and hit the three.
He blocked Hayes, right?
I don't remember exactly who, but
no, he blocked LeBron because LeBron was doing
LeBron
was doing I got hit. Yeah.
Okay, so is that your 10th guy?
That's 10, right?
You got 10. I got one more. And it's going to be Christian Braun. Okay, so my team is Luka Doncic, Tyler Hero. The dude was on the Bulls and went to the Jazz, Illinois Jones. That's Lauri Markkanen. Brandon drafted him like the little bastard he is. I got Luka Doncic, Tyler Hero, Cooper Flag, Franz Wagner, and Domantas Sabonis as my starting 5. You got Josh Giddey, Austin Reeves, Lauri Markkanen as your 3, which is just weird to me. I mean, he's playing that, but like I think he's a 4. Chet as your 4 and Jokic as your 5. Now you're going to be able to beat me up down low, man.
And Jokic is like a point guard, anyways. Really.
Listen, it makes sense to pair Chet with Jokic because Jokic is not a post defender. Chet can do all the dirty work while Jokic just focuses on basically running your offense. Is what you need. Sabonis it matches up well with Jokic, so I like that. Chet versus Wagner. Chet's going to have to come out.
Foster says Sabonis.
Sabonis.
I always love this point of the show, man. It gets weird.
We always save the funnest shit for this. Yeah. But Chet is going to have to come out and stretch out pretty far with Wagner. I don't know if he's going to be able to do that. And I like Wagner at that 4 position. And Markkanen and Flag, that's an interesting matchup. Giddey and Hero. Giddey is not a very good defender. Neither is Hero. That's going to be buckets all day, back and forth. And Reeves and Luka. I mean, Luka's going to dominate that. I mean, I have 3 guys that can handle the ball in my, from my point guard to my small forward.
I got 2 floor generals though.
And who? Jokic and Giddey? If I were
Jokic and Reeves.
Reeves is not a floor general.
Dude, he averages like 7 assists. What are you talking about?
I would not call Reeves. Giddey is a much better facilitator than Reeves in my mind.
I think I got you in the starters, man, but I think your bench is better.
Listen, I'm able to throw Şengün and Kessler at Jokic. You got Porzingis and Bertans. That was a fucking throwaway pick. I don't want to talk about Bertans.
But I got Porzingis and Vooch, so I stay big.
Yeah, you have no guards at all. Dante DiVincenzo is your only guard off the bench. It's awful, bro. Your team makes no fucking sense. You're just a team full
But my starters are better. They are.
Okay, but in terms of actually building a team that could work on the basketball court, I did a much better job.
I think in regards to Jokic being on my team, I win no matter what.
No, I got Luka, man. Because then I got Denny Avdia off the bench, Şengün, Pritchard, Kessler, and Braun. I just like my rotation a lot. You just
loaded up your bench with actual white guys who play the bench in the NBA.
Well, Şengün's a starter, and he's a damn good player. I think between Şengün, Sabonis, Kessler, I can throw enough at Jokic. I don't really got to worry about Chet. Chet's going to clean up a lot.
You can't throw anything at Jokic.
Just enough to throw.
To allow.
Jokic is going to get a triple-double every game. Yeah. Giddey we talked about this, Illinois Jones, and Giddey is on Brandon's team. He was his 2nd or 3rd pick. But
no, he said, who do you get traded for in the real NBA? He got traded for Alex Caruso.
No, but then he said no one took him.
Yeah, nobody took Alex Caruso.
Oh.
Nobody took it.
No. Caruso and his 6 points and 3 assists a game. No.
Well, and his defensive numbers have actually plummeted since the trade.
Well, I mean, he doesn't really fit with that Thunder team either. That was just a bad trade for the Thunder. And like I said from the beginning, the Bulls got a steal, and I'm super happy he's in Chicago. And that's really what facilitated in my head this entire white guy draft. Now, the question for the chat is, because me and Brandon can't decide this, who has the better team? Can we at least get one answer, please? I like this matchup in general, and I'm curious. I'd be curious to see these teams. I think my team would fare better in the real NBA, to be honest, because it's just a much better team architecturally put together. Your team is way too big,
just much more talented,
way too slow. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think the chat's going to throw us a bone on this. Can you throw us a sabone? Yes.
Next week's all black.
We're going to do a team of 45.
We're doing Hispanic players next, guys. So don't have to tune in for that one.
That's going to be for the big 3 tournament. 3-on-3.
Illinois Jones says it's a toss-up. That's probably kind of where I'm feeling, man. You did have a better structured team, but my guys are just more talented.
I got Jaime Jaquez. Whoever has
Depends on how
Jokic
does
runs.
depend on how they gel, man. That is true. I agree,
I-
Matt. That's what
my
I said.
team, listen, if you're talking depends on how it gels, my team is going to work much better in
Yeah, but
terms
if
of
you're
flow
talking
on
about
the court.
whoever has Jokic wins.
Okay, you can't discount Luca though. Right?
Counterpoint.
Well, I mean,
Simpsons did it.
Jokic is in the league right now, and I don't know if he's the best team in the West, right? So I mean, it's about how those guys come together, and I just think mine would have better chemistry. But who knows? This is all hypothetical, but I thought it was fun, man, and it's really cool. I think that we got 10-10. I mean, really, Bertans
We
doesn't
could have
count.
actually. I'm looking at a list right now, but I mean, some of these guys just suck.
Now you
But
got
we
to
could
run
have actually.
7-game simulation.
We could have actually taken a couple more, to be honest. We didn't take a Caruso. I did get Buzelis like that.
So what I could do is import get these teams put together in NBA 2K.
Yeah, I
And
think is that what Foster's saying?
simulate a 7-game series.
Yeah,
That's
Kevin
what,
too.
Kevin's create your team.
Yeah, do it, man.
Yeah, and then we can come back next week with the results of that. I'd be
Yeah,
interested.
I can't do it. Yeah, you'd have to do it. I don't have. I haven't played a video game in about 10 years, man. But you'd have to do it. But
What are you
do it.
shaming? Are you shaming me now? Are you
No,
shaming
to
me?
each their own.
Oh yeah, to each their own.
Do it, man. Sim those white guy teams. Is there a way you can go into 2K and just remove minorities?
Oh,
Is that possible? All right. just for this practice, man. I mean, like for life.
Brandon, the white guys are the minorities
In the sport.
Yeah.
In
Yes.
the sport.
Yes, the white guys are the minorities.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
We're gonna have to cut all that out. When I'm saying we got to cut that out, it wasn't good, Brandon. Just so you know.
Yeah, no, it wasn't offensive or anything. It was just dumb. Well, he said Foster agrees. I know they're the minority in this sport.
Yes. Anyways, this was our totally not racist white guy draft. It was just it's just about seeing if we could actually put together. Yeah, you were right, Brandon. This is a bad idea. I should have listened to you from the beginning.
I thought it was fun. We should do this more often. Next week, guys, are all white NFL teams.
No. Next week we'll get our simulation. We'll get you our simulation results. I'll try to find time to play some video games. That'll be fun. All right, man. It's late. What are we doing? We gonna get out of here?
Yeah,
Anybody
it's last, man. I clipped that. Foster. Oh wow.
Foster, get your Hispanic draft ready for single day mile. Yeah, we're gonna do we'll hopefully we can get a team of 3. I got Jaime Jaquez Jr.
Damn it! That's all that's left.
Is Carlos Arroyo still in the league?
Is Joe Ingles a Hispanic player or a white guy? I think he's a white guy. He's a white guy. Just looking at him, he's a white guy.
He's from Australia.
Ingles.
He's from Australia.
Is that really how it's pronounced? Ingles?
Yes, Joe Ingles, not
Ingles.
That's
deceiving.
You read his name as Ingles and assumed he was Hispanic. No hablo Ingles.
He could be. He could pass for one.
All right, guys. Listen,
Foster,
it's gonna be
Illinois, Jedediah, Kevin, Matt. Matt, thanks for showing up, man. You came in the last minute. Appreciate you, man. Shorty was in here for a minute, guys. And Foster, Shorty, no worries. We'll get that worked out.
Here.
We can get that worked out for next week if you guys are interested, for sure. Do another stab at that, right? I'll send you guys the link for the show next week. We'll get you in here. We can do our Oh, that's perfect, Kevin. That is perfect. He's got to be Hispanic, right? It's Duarte. There's an accent in the name.
He sounds like a conquistador.
Aunt Mass is always, man. Thanks for being here. Aunt Mass, you are loyal as can be, man. We appreciate you. PJ, haven't seen that name in a while. Thanks for coming out, PJ. I
He's
don't
the
think
Bears country. Bears country. He's with Bears country.
did we? Oh yeah, PJ. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. I just watched him on the show. Yeah, dig
Yes.
it. PJ's good stuff too, man. Those guys are great, man. That show was fun tonight. You guys did for
Yeah,
sure.
guys, check out Bears Country. Check out Chicago Sports Podcast. Check out 4-Star Chicago Sports. We'll be back with you on Saturday for the Northside 9. We'll be back with you on Monday for the House Hall Hangover. Next Wednesday, the Barely There podcast. And me and Brandon are here just making complete fools of this entire process and ourselves on Thursdays. So,
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
Don't be jealous. My white team's better, man.
it's not. It's just not.
We'll let 2K handle this.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes, man.
Oh, Amphiris, man. I don't want to forget you, Amphiris. Thanks for being here. We didn't see Bruce tonight, Dustin.
Oh, we'll be all right.
Yeah, no.
We'll see Bruce the next time.
Get a handwritten letter. Guys, I did want to announce this too for anybody who's in the area. And by when I say that, I mean revolving around Illinois. If you can, April 24th, obviously, is the day of the NFL draft. We are hosting a live show at 102 North River Street. That's River Street Tavern, where Kyle attends bar. Kyle, obviously, one of the hosts of 4-Star Chicago Sports. Come and see us, guys, if you can. If you can't, watch our show. We're going to go over the first 10 picks. I would like to go until the Bears pick. I don't know if that's going to result in a trade back, but we're going to go over the first 10 picks for sure, guys. We're going to see how each pick affects what the Bears might do with their picks. So check us out, man. Come on out and have a beer, right? At the 102 North River Street Tavern, Dustin, right?
Yes. And also Foster can suck a golf ball through a garden hose.
And maybe we'll see that at 102 North River Street on April
Yeah.
24th.
Come see Foster sucking golf balls through garden hoses at 102 North River Street. It'll be part of the entertainment.
It's a cool place, guys. Good food. I think they're going to do some drink specials. I'm trying to work out. I was a mixologist for 13 years. I'm going to try to work on a shot in which the orange and blue will separate. Maybe some blue curacao and orange juice or something.
Brandon's going to blow himself up.
It's liquor, man. It's not a meth
Yeah.
lab.
Yeah,
I'm not
but
working.
you're going to blow yourself up.
Hopefully. I'll miss that show then. No. Yeah, guys, we're going to try to maybe do like a bear shot or something. So that'll be cool. See if that works out. He says live. He's going to do a Foster Grease. Guys, check us. Come out. Visit us. Meet us if we can, man. We'd like to meet you.
If you do come, do not drink that shot, guys. Just
You will drink that shot. If that shot is free. It's not free, guys. I can't. It's not my liquor. I can't give it away. All right. Before Dustin has a heart attack and stops breathing. You got anything else, man? Any other news? Fuck you as well. Fuck you very much. Any other news in the world of sports?
listen, the tournament's still going
watch.
on. Duke's going to win the whole damn thing. Cooper Flag is unbelievable. So it's going to be a lot of fun to watch that happen. And yeah, I guess baseball's happening. So there's that if you guys are interested in that. And hopefully the Bulls make some noise in the playoffs.
Yeah, I know, Foster, you're a big Cubs guy, guys. For those of you who like the Cubs, Sean and Kyle have started a project on Saturdays, the Northside 9, a podcast that is gaining a lot of breaking brand. It's gaining a lot of traction for sure, guys. Check that show out. They have Alex Pat, I think is his name, a Cubs insider who joins the show every couple of weeks and gives kind of his scoop on the newest in the Cubs. So check that show out, guys, Saturday, 11 o'clock a.m. Dustin, I think that's about it.
Yeah, man, let's get the fuck out of here. We've dragged this out for way too long. We love everybody. Thanks for being here. We'll see you again next week. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and join Sean and Kyle on Saturday for the Northside 9. We'll check you later. Bear down.
Bare minimum.
We did it.